Hey guys, it's Kingdom Orange 2 here, and welcome back to my channel. After suffering from a bit of writer's block, you can say that an alien ship somewhat crash landed in my backyard. And who was on that ship but none other than the alien girls from Novi Stars. So after that once in a lifetime experience, I decided it would be fun if for today's video I spoke on the short history of the MGA Entertainment line Novi Stars, talked about some of the dolls, and discussed as to why I think the doll line failed and what I wish they would have done better. Now before I go on, feel free to check me out on both my Instagram and TikTok pages. You'll find more doll related videos and content as well. So without further ado, grab your UFO and let's rover right into it. During the 2010s, MGA faced a lot of competition. Mattel was having huge success with producing two of the most successful doll lines of the time, Barbie and Monster High. So MGA, wanting to dip its toes into the huge fantasy craze that dominated not just dolls but also movie and TV shows, decided to create a line of extraterrestrial dolls they called Novi Stars, with the main concept of the line being 4 alien girls who crash landed on Earth and wanted to be more like humans. The very first line of dolls consisted of 4 characters. Each doll was pretty small, only standing around 7.5 inches tall, had glass eyes and rooted eyelashes, came with a glow-in-the-dark stand, and had a special gimmick associated with each of the girls' special powers. The girls were also given a bio which contained fun facts about their age, favorite food, and their mission for coming to Earth. The first character in the lineup was Ally Electric, whose name is clearly a pun on electric, and who comes with her pet Hi-Fi. Since she was known to show emotions through the colors on her face, her doll was able to glow with the touch of a button on her backpack. Universe, a pun on universe, came with her pet Molecule. She often struggled with floating due to Earth's strange gravity. Her doll came with liquid-filled glittery water legs to make it seem like she was floating. Next was Aroma, a pun on aroma, who came with her pet O2. Since she is unable to properly breathe Earth's air, she needs to constantly wear her helmet. However, when you take the doll's helmet off, Aroma smells just like bubblegum. Well, according to the commercial, she smells like bubblegum. Her doll box has a picture of a strawberry and cherry on it, and since I've never owned her, I can't exactly confirm what exactly Aroma smells like. Now the last in the lineup was Maytalic, whose name is a pun on metallic. May comes with her pet Mizbah, and her gimmick is when you press the button on her ear, she talks. Now to coincide with the release of the dolls, Novi Stars created one of the most iconic music videos of all time, the Novi Stars music video. The music video sits at 3.4 million views and features live action actresses dressed as our 4 main characters. Around the same time in 2012, Novi Stars also began releasing vlogs on YouTube, which typically centered around the Novi Star girls struggling to adapt to life on Earth, such as Una constantly failing her driver's test, or Allie being too shy to talk to a human boy named Derek. While the webisodes were a gag per episode format and didn't really follow a main storyline, we did get a better glimpse at each of the girls' unique individual personalities. Unfortunately though, they didn't last very long, as the series completed only after 8 episodes in early 2013. In the fall of 2012, more merchandise for the Novi Stars was produced. The first was a line of fashion packs, which consisted of a gown for Allie, pajamas for Una, and winter gear for Ari. The Energy Pod playset was also released. The playset was made up of a doll for the character Nita Light, a pun on the name Nita Light, and was essentially an anti-gravity chamber in which, when the doll was attached to a hook, move around to make it look like she was weightless. The last line released in the fall of 2012 was called the Secret Pet Pods. Similar to a Kinder Surprise egg, each pod had a mystery surprise pet inside. However, you could easily find out which pet you were going to receive just by looking at the ears that were poking outside of the egg. I like how this still technically makes it a surprise, but also easier for collectors to catch on to. 2013 began with the introduction of many new characters to the Novi Stars lineup. The first round of basic dolls featured 3 new girls: Cyclops, who came with her pet One Eye and had a red eye that glowed when you pressed the back of her head. Next was the lame character Tula Toned, a play on two-toned, which isn't exactly a smart or interesting pun. Anyways though, she kinda had the same thing as Universe, where she had a problem with floating, but instead of having watery glitter legs, her 2 legs were filled with different colors of something called galactic goo. Tula also came with her pet Vortex. Then finally there was Molly Tasker, who came with her pet 1.0. Molly's gimmick was that she had a pair of extra rubbery arms that you could stretch. Novi Stars also released a lineup of beach-themed dolls called Orbit Beach, which featured each of the 4 main girls dressed up in galactic swimwear. And while I'm not crazy about the overall look of this line, I do really like the cool sunglasses they gave each of the characters, as well as the designs of some of the bathing suits. After that, Novi Stars created a line of mix and match dolls called Galactic Skins. Galactic Skins featured 2 sisters, Cece Through and Gail Lex Lexi. These dolls were taller than the other Novi Star characters and came with 2 pairs of skins, which could be slid onto the dolls' translucent bodies. CC Through came with a zombie and rockstar look, while Gale Lexi had a zombie and skeleton one. And while I do find the idea of a mix and match line to be interesting, I've read that the skins made the dolls' already limited mobility even worse, and to be honest, I think that CC and Gale both look really cheap and a bit uninspired. In Christmas of 2013, 3 more doll lines were introduced. The first was called Supernovas and consisted of 2 characters, Vera Tebre and Mimi Mirais. Vera Tebre has got to be one of the prettiest dolls in the Novi Star lineup. She has 3 eyes, wings made of tiny bones, and came with her pet Phoebe. Mimi Mirais had eyes that spun when you pressed on her antenna and came with her pet Diz. Fun fact about Mimi is that she's a character who appears on Zoe Electra's shirt, which could imply that Novi Stars exists in the Rainbow High universe. The second doll line was known as Invasion and featured the characters Annie Arctic and Inferna. These 2 girls are technically from the same planet, but Inferna had hair that lit up like fire and Annie Arctic had a body filled with water and snow to kind of look like a snow globe. Finally, the last line to be introduced for Christmas of 2013 was known as Curl and Coil, which featured Tillyvision and Robotic. Tillyvision and Robotic came with their pets Telepuppy and Circuit, and were the same height as CC Through and Gale Lexi. Both girls also came with strings in their hair that you could pull to style it, as well as different hair accessories like combs and bobby pins. After that, MGA Entertainment announced that they had discontinued Novi Stars and had no plans to release any dolls in 2014. Despite that, however, 4 more new characters were sold in Europe in spring of that year. The 4 characters were Justina Auer, who could move her eyes, Doa Deer, who had fuzzy skin, Carmela Sweet, who had easy bendable gummy legs, and Fristina Sprinkles, whose legs were hollow and full of plastic sprinkles. But after those releases, Novi Stars was now officially cancelled. Interestingly enough though, 3 years later in 2017, a company known as Varner Studios, who I believe is responsible for designing prototypes for toy companies, released images of 3D models for toys they had worked on. Within those images were 3D model prototypes for potential future characters that were never released, such as a mermaid, a dragon, and a zombie. They also had models for their pets, as well as unproduced pet models for Annie Arctic and Inferna. And with that, I have to ask myself, what could Novi Stars have done better? And the first thing that comes to mind for me was the doll themselves. I know that MGA has a habit of making their dolls look very similar to each other, but I think for an alien-themed doll line, they could have gotten way more creative with the faces, instead of using the same head and body mold for practically all of the dolls. Now, I do appreciate how each doll has a creative gimmick to it, but I feel like after a while the gimmicks get pretty old. I mean, how many of the Novi Star dolls could they create with weird goop in their legs? Another thing I wish they would have done better was with the overall story. I think the plot of the girls coming to Earth and trying to fit in was cute, but they could have gotten way deeper with it. They should have had like an intergalactic high school where each of the characters attend. I don't know if this is maybe too much to expect from a kid's toy line, but fun fact, according to Garrett Sanders' Instagram story, Mattel was planning on doing an alien-themed high school doll line until they found out about Novi Stars. And in all honesty, I think they would have done a better job at integrating a storyline with the dolls. Alright, well, that was what happened to Novi Stars. As much as I never really liked this doll line, I did find it fascinating to go back and learn more about the history and all of the characters that were released. I also plan on releasing more What Happened To videos, so make sure you stay tuned for those and tell me more about your favorite Novi Star dolls or Novi Star memories. If you liked this video today and want to see more content in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will see you soon. Bye!